so let's get down to it, right? So, what the Lord has been putting in my heart has been preparation for 2022, right? I know that for the past weeks that we've been doing this, God has been doing some amazing things, and even faster than we thought. Um, like I know some of you guys, God has been restoring, God has been putting a new fire in some of you guys. Um, a lot of things, right? So, I I I feel like God has been putting something in a sense that we leave the old things in 2021. I don't know if anybody wants to do that. I do. You know what I'm saying? I want to leave more things in 2021 because I want God to do even crazier things in 2022. Is that just me or is that anybody else, right? So yeah, so what Liza was saying earlier, actually tonight I'm gonna challenge you guys to actually write things that God is gonna show you, right? We're gonna prophesy to you guys, we're gonna do all of that good stuff, but I'm gonna challenge you guys to actually write down things because God is gonna show you vision for 2022, and you personally, right? Things that you've been praying for, things that you've been asking for, right? I'm sure that all of you here, you're probably going through some difficult times, right? And you feel like the promised land is far from reach, right? You feel like where you want to get to in God is like far away and you feel so distant. You know, you feel like you're doing everything you have to do. You feel like you're connecting here. You feel like you're praying. You feel like you're fasting. You feel like you're doing whatever the case may be, but you feel like something like it's just far away. You understand where I'm coming from? So we're gonna prepare you guys for whatever the Lord does, with you guys and stuff like that. And part of that has to do with vision, right? Because I believe one of the things that makes us aggressive as believers is obviously our intimacy with God. That's the main thing. But when you're intimate with God, the way that you see life changes, right? What do I mean by that? You feel invincible. If you feel, let me tell you guys something. Listen, a lot of the things that we teach you guys is things we live, right? I'm not teaching you guys something that I just heard from another preacher. You understand? Like when you're intimate with God, you feel invincible. You get what I'm saying? You feel like there's nothing that stands in front of you that you can't conquer. If you haven't felt that, then you have to get along with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna make sure that God speaks to you, that God strengthens you guys, and all of that good stuff. All right, so let's begin. So vision from God, right? Vision for 2022 is the title of my message, right? I'm gonna begin with Habakkuk. That was crazy, bro. Some of you guys, I don't know, but Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. Habakkuk. I've never learned how to pronounce that chapter. So Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. All right. I'm gonna begin right there. So let's begin. I will stand on my guard post and station myself on the tower. I'm gonna explain this in a minute, okay? And I will keep watch to see what he will say to me and what answer I will give as a spokesman when I am reproved. Then the Lord answered me and said, watch this. This is what I'm telling all of you guys right now, right? This is what the Lord shall say to you guys right now, right? Write the vision, right? Write the vision and engrave it plainly on clay tablets. Listen, engrave it plainly on clay tablets. Watch this. So that the one who reads it will run, right? This is going to make sense in a minute, right? So that the one who reads it may run. And look what it continues to say. For the vision is yet for the appointed future time. The vision is purpose for the appointed time in the future, right? And it hurries toward the goal of fulfillment. It will not fail. Listen to this. It will not fail. Even though it delays. Listen, even though it delays. Look what it says. Wait patiently for it. The key word is there. Patiently, right? That's one of the hardest things for us as believers to do, to have patience. And let me tell you guys something. Patience is one of the most radical things that we can do as believers. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But when Jesus was going up to the cross, he had to be patient. or else he was going to do something that was outside of alignment to the will of God. Are you guys with me so far? It had to be that it had to happen the way that God designed it. Judas had to betray Jesus, right? So that because that was the open door for him to be crucified. It had to be that Judas will betray him, right? He had to turn himself over in some type of way. And it would have to be that Judas will betray him, right? And then all of a sudden he's going through the crucifixion, and then you guys know the rest, right? The rest is history. But what am I trying to say is that he had to be patient. Every time, remember, the disciples used to ask him, oh, but what does this mean? Because he used to talk a lot about the crucifixion, dying, and resurrecting. He used to talk a lot about these things. And Jesus used to say to them a lot. He's like, it's not my time yet. It's not my time yet. Right? So because he knew it wasn't his time, he was patiently still seeking the Lord, still acting, right? Still doing the will of the Father, right? While he was waiting patiently, because God already showed him what was to happen. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but that's just a little bit, right? So, in other words, patience. Patience. Right now, God is saying to you guys, patience. And look what it says, the last verse. Because it will certainly come, it will not delay. So what am I trying to tell you guys tonight? If God has given you a vision, which I'm going to explain what vision means, right? If God has given you a vision, it will come to pass if it's from God. It will not delay, right? Sorry, it says if it delays, wait patiently for it, that it will come to pass, right? So watch this. What is vision? A vision, the way that, is a view or a picture of the future, right? When God gives you a vision, right? Watch this. Let me say it like this, right? Let me give you guys an example. The new Spider-Man movie, right? Something that we're all kind of waiting for, right? The reason why there's a trailer for the Spider-Man movie is because the movie is finished. When God gives you a vision, right? It's a piece of the trailer of the movie he already finished. Wow, crazy. Does that make sense? Right? Think of vision as a trailer, a piece of a trailer for your movie. Your life is a movie, right? Your life is a movie that has finished already, right? Every time God gives you a vision, right? Watch this. Some of you guys see the trailer and you see all the things that he's gonna face. You already know the villain from the last time that is there in the movie. You're already going to the movie expecting that. You're already going to the movie expecting the fight. You know it's gonna happen. Why? Because of the trailer. In other words, because of the vision. You understand where I'm coming from? But the movie is finished. So then the trailer can be made to kind of give us a view of what to expect when we see the movie, right? So when you get a vision from God, God is showing you pieces of the trailer for your movie. Are you guys with me so far? I'm going somewhere with this, right? Your life is a movie, my friends. And while you're looking at your situation from your now perspective, God is at the finish line looking at it from the end perspective. There is nothing that you're going through right now that moves the heart of God. Why do I say that? Not that God is not moved by your circumstance. What I'm saying is that God doesn't see your situation as impossible, because in God's mind, the way that he's seeing your situation, he's seeing it from a place of it's already conquered. It's already defeated, right? You're already the prophet of the nations. You're already the pastor of the nations, right? That's what the Bible says. Before I formed you in the womb, I ordained you a prophet of the nations, right? You're not a prophet, right? When a man lays hands on you and stuff like that, right? That's God, right? How do I say this? That's God confirming the call. When the man lays hands on you and tells you you're a prophet of the nations, that's God using the man to confirm the vision. But that doesn't mean you're already not a prophet. That doesn't mean you're already not a pastor. That doesn't mean you're already not a teacher. That doesn't mean already that you're already not a business owner, which I'm going to touch in a minute, right? So a vision is a picture or a view of the future, right? bear with me, right? I've gotten a very ahead of myself, but it is what it is, right? So vision is a preview of the reward, right? Watch this. If you're finding it hard right now to fight, it could be that you haven't received vision. It could be that you're not receiving vision. Without vision, you're not gonna feel the need to fight. The people that fight the most is the people that are full of crazy vision, right? And I'm gonna explain some of my stories in a minute, right? Some of our stories. So vision comes in many forms, guys. Vision can come to you. One of the ways that vision comes to me specifically is obviously when I'm alone with the Lord, right? When I'm praying, when I'm worshiping, that's when I receive visions. But I also receive visions when I'm in a service. Sometimes when we, attend the church service we attend. Sometimes while the pastor's preaching, I receive visions, or I'm worshiping. There's many ways you can receive visions. One of the ways you also receive visions is in dreams, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. But there's many ways you can receive a vision from the Lord, right? Which I'm going to explain in a minute, right? So moving along, right? So quick story, right? This happened. I think it happened, babe, in 2015. You're going to remind me because I don't remember. But my wife had a dream. We got married, and we lived in efficiency, and we paid. I think we paid like 800, whatever. But that's not the point. The point is that she received a vision because a dream, right? She in a dream, God gave her a vision, basically, that the owner was not gonna kick us out, but basically he was telling us that we had to move, because he's gonna sell the house. And I'm not just saying this, we experienced it. I thought it was a little shocking. Because of that, we started acting and looking for other houses because we kind of believed it, right? We received it like a week before, we were like kind of searching. We weren't sure, right? So, but we got a newspaper. We started kind of like looking around, right? But we knew that God was speaking to us, right? We had a feeling, but we weren't sure, right? God was giving us like a little warning, right? And so, like a week later, the guy tells us exactly what my wife said. She told me the dream, and he said exactly what the guy said. Like, listen, like I'm selling the house. You guys have this much time to leave, right? That's just an example of what I'm trying to tell you guys, right? And then long story short, it happened. The vision came to life. You know what I'm saying? So there are reasons why you'll receive vision, right? That's one of the reasons why we receive vision in that time, because God was warning us of something, right? There's other times, another example, right? This is another side of vision, of why you'll receive vision, where this is what some of you guys want vision for, right? One time I remember praying, and I believe we lived in a house in Overtown, whatever, and we prayed, right? And in this time, we were having a crazy problem with our car, right? We had a blue Kia, and the car just kept having problems on us, right? So to make you a long story short, we were kind of like stressed, we were frustrated, and we were doing ministry. By the way, listen, don't feel like you gotta be perfect. If you get stressed, that's fine. You will go through some stressful times. That's part of that makes you human. You understand? So we went through a stressful moment, but we prayed, right? And I remember specifically that me and her, we prayed one time specifically, and the presence of God fell, and we were in a fast, something like that. And I prayed specifically, and I remember that I gave a prophetic word, kind of in a way. I think it was a little crazy because it was just us two. And I prayed that we would have a 2010 car, right? Because that's what God was showing me, a 2010 car up, and what was the other thing? Oh, and then it will be a SUV, right? That's something that was a vision I received in the moment. I declared it, and I think like 4, 5, 6 months later, we got the car we own now, which is a Jeep, right? But we fasted, we prayed, we ran with the vision God showed us. Are you guys with me so far? So just a little example of vision, right? Things that right now God might be showing you guys that might seem impossible, right? There's a reason why you're seeing what you're seeing. You understand where I'm coming from? To keep you looking forward. Are you guys with me so far? So just a little bit of stories of us and vision, right? So a couple of things to know with vision, right? I'm gonna try to like fast forward quick, right? Couple of things to know about vision. Number one, vision comes from God, right? Vision comes from God. This is in Jeremiah 29:11, right? Watch this. For I know the plans and thoughts that I have for you, says the Lord, plans for peace and well-being and not a disaster, to give you a future and a hope, right? He knows the plans and the purposes he has for you to give you a future and a hope. In other words, to keep you looking forward to tomorrow. Without vision, you're not going to look forward to tomorrow. If you look at the people that are the most depressed, it's the people that are not looking towards tomorrow, or they have fear of tomorrow. Are you guys with me so far? So watch this. Vision is not you telling God what you're going to do. Vision is God telling you what you're designed for. Are you guys with me so far? Right? And again, I'm getting somewhere with this, right? So vision is when we allow God to speak to us of what we're born for, right? While you were in your quick example, right? When you were in your mother's womb, the Bible says you ordained your prophet of the nations, Jeremiah 1:6, right? So God was searching and said, I need somebody to take care of I don't know, people that women that have been abused. I need somebody, right, that will take care of, there's a problem on the earth. In other words, right, there's a problem. Young girls are getting abused, right? I'm just giving you guys an example, right? When God sees the problem, when you're in the womb, he puts you to solve a problem. All of you that are here connected tonight, right? God put inside of you a problem to solve on the earth. Are you guys with me so far? Right? All of us here are designed to solve a problem on the earth, right? And so that problem, it could be, I don't know, like, I don't know, a problem with, I don't know, the church, religion, I don't know. It could be a problem with, people that lack money, that are, don't know how to start businesses, right? It could be a problem that, I don't know, like, I don't know, shoe design, I don't know. Whatever problem that might be on the earth, God put inside each and every one of us something unique and specific that we are called to solve that problem. Are you guys with me so far? So God knows exactly what you're designed for, right? And let me tell you guys something. Until you're not doing what you've been designed for, you're not gonna live satisfied. Mom. You're gonna live always like confused and going around in circles in life. I'm going somewhere with this, right? So to receive vision from God, you stand, wait for what he wants to show you, and that's when you act, right? We were talking with my wife today, right? Because there are times where I felt something, and even me, like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? Like, I've been impatient, and I've started things and I didn't finish these things, right? And so like I've told her, right? Because if you look in the Bible, Jesus was the one that told Peter to get out of the boat. Jesus told Peter to walk on water, right? And so a lot of times the risk that some of you guys take, it could be that God is telling you to take those risks. But watch this. What happened with Peter, that he started sinking while he was walking on water, because Peter did walk on water, by the way, for a couple of minutes, but he walked on water. But you know what the Bible says? It says that he looked at the storms of life. So God might be calling you today to start a business. God might be saying to you, I have a vision for you to start a business. I have a vision for you to be a pastor of the nations. I have a vision for you, right, to rescue those that have been abused. I have a vision for you because I have all these problems that I need to solve. And so all these problems, I put them inside of you. But here's the thing. Are you going to lean on me? Right? Are you going to lean on me and trust that I can do the impossible through you? Are you guys with me so far? So, in other words, he told Peter, get out of the boat. And the Bible says that when he started to sink was because he looked at the size of the storm. When you look at the size of the storm, you forget the size of your God. You're not hearing what I'm saying. There are times in my personal life where I start to analyze, oh, but the bills are too much, but it's too much to start this business. But what about God? But what about how big our God is, right? That if our God gave us the vision, he is faithful and just to fulfill it, right? The Bible calls him the Alpha and the Omega, the author and the finisher of our faith, right? So if God has called us to something, right, you better believe he's going to take you to the end. Are you guys with me so far? So one, vision is from God. Number two, this was going to be a little crazy. Vision simplifies your life. Watch this. Vision simplifies your life. This is going to make sense, right? Vision, in other words, makes your life simple. How does vision make your life simple? When you know where you're going, you automatically know what roads are not going to take you there. In other words, if God gives you a vision of starting a rental car business, you're not going to entertain thoughts of starting a beauty salon. I'm just giving you guys an example. You're focused on this, right? Because that's the vision that God designed you to for, right? So vision controls your choices, removes distractions, etc. It also sometimes you're gonna feel to remove certain people out of your life because you're so focused on the vision. It simplifies your life and removes distractions. I'm going somewhere with this, right? And I hope I'm able to get to the story, right? But if you don't get to the point where you receive vision, life is going to be complicated. Why? Because you're going to have all these suggestions because you're not going to know exactly where God wants you to go. When you know where to go, you already know where not to go, right? You know not to entertain thoughts here because you know where God is taking you. Are you guys with me so far? Number three, vision is a key to discipline your life. Vision is a key to discipline your life. What do I mean by this? Another example, right? If God has given you a vision that you're going to own a house one day, I'm sure all of us have probably received some type of vision like that, or it's one of our desires, right? If God has giving you a vision, this is something God has given us a vision of, right? Of owning a house one day. Watch this. If God has given you a vision of owning a house one day, you don't just blow your money. You limit your spending. You save. Are you guys with me so far? You save your money. You limit your spending. You limit your choices. You limit your vacations. You limit all these things because you know where you're going. Are you with me so far? You know where you're going. I'm going somewhere with this. So because you're focused on God's instructions for that vision, so your life becomes a little tight. But it's because you're waiting for the realization of that vision to manifest in your life. Number four, vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning. Vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning, from where you are at right now, right? Sight is the ability to see things as they are. But watch this. But vision is the ability to see things as they can be. Are you with me so far? So watch this. Watch this. And here's where I start tying it all, right? If what you're seeing right now is not the vision God gave you, if what you're seeing right now, hear me clearly, if what you're seeing right now is not the vision God gave you, what you're seeing right now is temporary. In other words, do not look onto your circumstances, right? Do not lose sight of the vision that God has in store for you. One of the things about vision is that it's always connected to conviction, right? Vision and conviction always come together. Why? Because when you know that it's a vision from God, conviction is constantly burning inside of you. This be happening to me, bro. It's happened to me since I got saved. You understand? Like, I didn't have a crazy degree. I knew I wasn't going to be good in school. I knew a million things, but I knew that somehow God was going to make me wealthy. And I come from a poor family, you know. I come from, like, my family, I grew up living in trailer parks, you know. I know it might sound crazy, but that's, you know. And so I come from that. But when I got saved, God kept filling me up with so much vision that I was seeing something that became my reality. It took over my life. You understand what I'm saying? And my eyes were focused on the prize, right? Because I was trusting the vision that God had entrusted me with, that I would be wealthy one day, right? That I would be married one day, that I would have a daughter one day, right? That I grew up without a father and I'm fathering my own daughter right now. You understand where I'm coming from? Things that God will reveal to you right now, right? That don't make sense. They don't need to make sense. It makes sense to God because God knows your potential. God knows what you're designed for, right? And it doesn't need to make sense right now. But God knows that as you delight yourself in his promises, right? And you allow him to take you through the storms of life, because right now, some of you might be facing some challenging times. But I'm here to tell you to hold on to the vision of the Lord. Hold on to what he's promised you. Repeat those prophetic words, those words that God has given you, play them back. When you're going through difficult times, lock yourself up, play those recordings again. Listen to them things again. Let that vision not die out, because let me tell you guys something. Satan might take you out of the church. He might stop your Sundays, but that's not it. Let me tell you guys something. He could stop you from Sundays, but that's not the way to take out Christians. You know what's the way to take out Christians? Take out their vision. That's what he wants to take out, because he takes your vision out. That's where you lose the will to fight. If he steals that vision from you, you're already defeated by yourself. You have no hope for the future. It's tough for you to trust God for tomorrow, right? You're stuck in today, right? You're stuck today, and today becomes forever.
Wow, that's crazy.
When you don't have vision, today becomes forever. Are you guys with me so far? And you don't want today to become your forever, right? When you're intimate with the Lord, God is caught up and not keeping you stuck to the now. One of the things about vision is that it will get you caught up, right? It will get you caught up in almost like you're from the future, right? You're from the future carrying that reality in the now. And so watch this. Like I said, I've been so full of vision, right? Me and my wife, we've been so full of vision that listen, I can't line up. I'm not just saying this. She's right here. Obviously, we're here sharing this, right? Lines and lines and lines of things we've been through. We're still here.
Come on.
And we're stronger than ever with a smile on my face. You understand where I'm coming from? As a matter of fact, the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And as a matter of fact, you guys have heard me say this. Watch this. I might park here, right? I might park here for now, right? I might just have to share part 2 next week. So watch this. Okay. I think I've shared this before. Maybe, I don't know. David, right? The hardest battles he faced, if you read the scriptures, were Bathsheba, when he fell in sin with Bathsheba. And the second battle that was very tough was with his son Absalom. That the Bible says that Absalom was given as a consequence for sleeping for basically committing adultery, right? So the trial he faced with Absalom was a consequence of his sin. Bear with me. Watch this. After that trial, I'm sure he faced, difficulties. He did, because if you read the scriptures, he faced difficulties. But to that extent, I'm going somewhere with this. He didn't face that level of trial anymore. The other trials after were a little more decent. Why? I believe strongly there gets a moment, Satan gets to a point that he gets terrified, because if he puts you in another thing, you become stronger. Watch this. There are some tough things you face, right? And the reason why you have the strength you have today is because of the toughest moments you face. In other words, you're fighting today. You have endurance today, right? You have endurance today because of the simple fact you've gone through hell. You've gone through hell, and nothing takes you out. I think about it this way. I take their jobs, right? I'm putting myself in the devil's head for a second, right? I take away their job. I take away their finances. I put them through struggles in their business. And they're still worshiping God. And they're still going to church. And they're still reading the word. Oh, let me see if I hit their health. Let me try to at least touch their health. They're still praying. They're still fasting. Satan starts to step back. But hold up. I'm confused. Everything I'm doing is only making them stronger. That's why Apostle Paul got to a moment that he said, listen, bro, at the end of the day, bro, to the point that a snake bit him, he shook that snake off. He didn't ask for medicine. Read your Bible. He didn't ask for medicine. He didn't ask for, oh my God, like, I'm gonna have, I'm gonna be poisoned. I don't know, I'm gonna die soon. Like, he didn't ask for any of that. He shook that thing off as if it was nothing. He said, I've gone through, rainless nights. Yes. I've gone through sleepless nights. I've been stoned to death. I've been put in jail cells. I've gone through this. I've gone through that. But this is not what God showed me. Yes. Come on. This is not what God showed me. As a matter of fact, watch this. You get so crazy when you're full of vision. Watch this. You get so crazy, which it's crazy because I didn't even get to, share the story, but it's all good. You get so crazy that you get full of vision that you're like Stephen in the Bible. I don't know if you guys remember Stephen, that while he was being stoned to death, he was seeing heaven. Oh my gosh, bro. He was being stoned to death. He was with a smile on his face. He's like, bro, if you guys only knew what I was seeing right now. He's going through hell on earth, right? But what he's seeing is a greater reality than the now. Listen, I'm going to remind you guys what I said earlier. If what you're seeing today is not what God showed you, reminder, it's temporary. It's temporary. Record this. What you're going through is temporary. We went through a very difficult time recently. When the times I prayed, the times we fasted, we didn't see that. Bingo, it's temporary. And it's difficult to walk with these things, because in the moment you're looking at your trial, you're feeling the pain, you're feeling discouraged, you're going through hell, you're saying, oh, but I can't go forward. Like, this is tough. And it's fine. It's fine to go through these difficulties because I've gone through it myself. But when I blast off with the Lord, at least me, when I get alone with the Lord, right? And I have to really, really, really spend time with the Lord. And I encourage you guys need to do that tonight. You need to blast off with the Lord. Why? Because you start to enter into a different reality. His reality becomes your reality. If you're still seeing life from your eyes, right, then it's because you've fallen out of intimacy. When you're intimate with God, you're too caught up with what he's saying to you that you're not listening or paying attention to making sense of what's earthly. You're not making sense of your situation. You're just listening to God's words, to the prophetic words, right? To the prayers that you've said, right? To the preachings, to the sermons. That's all you're listening to. That's all that drives you. Are you guys with me so far? And I'm going to end with this, right? I'll give you guys part 2 next week. So, mind you, right? Couple of things. I didn't share this, right? But there gets to a point that vision, first of all, it makes you look like a fool. It was so crazy that the disciples, listen, is it not crazy that like people are telling you, listen, keep talking about that name, I'll put you in prison. And they still did it. Right? Oh, keep saying that name, I'm gonna stone you to death. And they kept doing it. And they did it with such crazy radical faith. Right? So what am I saying with this? It gets to a point that vision starts to take over your whole life. It starts to drive you. It starts to drive you. Right? Come on. Suffering is a reward. Yes, there's a reward for your sufferings. Everything you go through, there's a reward. When you stop believing in the reward, your fight will stop. You will stop fighting. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall. It's okay to miss the mark. It's okay. Get back up. Get back up. There's a war to win. As long as you're on God's side, you've won. You just need to stay alive for the win.